Alright, so this is how to play Sweet Deals. Now, Sweet Deals is going to take about 15 minutes to play, and it plays between 2 and 8 players. You're going to have 63 dessert cards. You're going to have 2 winner cards here. You're going to have 8 bake sale cards and 8 reference cards. So there's a little bit of setup before you start the game. In a 2 to 3 player game, you're going to remove all the cards that have a 4, so you can see this little 4 down here, and the 6 plus. So all the cards that have that, you're going to remove from the game for a 2 to 3 player game, so it'll be 30 cards. In a 4 to 6 player, you're going to remove all the ones that have that little +6 on the bottom, and that'll remove 15 cards. If you're playing 6 to 8 players, you're just going to keep all the cards in the deck. You'll shuffle these up really good to start the game. Then you're going to deal each player 7 cards. Alright, and I'll have some random cards over here. Well, we'll just set the opponents. We'll just pull from the deck here. And then each player is going to get a on your turn card and a bake sale card. Alright. And then you put the winner and the I Got Sweet 16 off to the side. You'll be claiming those towards the end of the game here. Whoever most recently ate a donut gets to go first. If no one ate any donuts recently, just pick among yourselves who's the first player. The goal of the game is to get the most points by collecting multiple desserts of the same name. So throughout the game, you're going to be trying to get these different cards. There's only one mocha card in the game, by the way, and it's just 5 points. But there's like chocolate. Let's get some cards out here. There's some cupcake. There's pie. Here you have 2 cookies. And if you look at your card here, you can see what the scoring is for sets. So if I had 2 cookies, I would gain 4 points. If I get 3 cookies, I get 7 points. If I get 4 of a kind, I get 14. If I get 5 of a kind, I get 17 points. If I get 6, I get 22 points. Now, in addition to that, so the set value here, you're also going to get the value printed on these cards at the end of the game. Now, one thing with this game is you're never going to have more than 7 cards. The 7 cards are what you're going to have at the beginning of the game, and 7 cards are what you're going to have at the end of the game. And we'll do a scoring example here in a little bit. Players are going to take turns until someone is able to get 6 of a kind. When someone gets 6 of a kind, they're going to call out Sweet 6, and they're going to get the I Got Sweet 6 card. And the game's going to end, and we're going to do final scoring. So what do you do on your turns in this game? All right, so this is what you do on your turn. You're going to offer dessert. You're going to pick a dessert you would like to swap and say only the name of it. Going clockwise, other players will bid or pass. To bid, they're going to choose a single card that they are willing to give away or swap, and they're just going to say the coin number on it. It's going to range between 0 and 5 points. Continue circling around with the other players, allowing matching bids or bid increases until there is a winner, a single high bidder, or multiple winners offering the same high bid. Then finally, you're going to secretly swap cards with the winner, or if the players are tied, both reveal their desserts to all, and the player offering them gets to choose which one to swap for. Now, let's do a quick example. So in this example, I have my 7 cards. Look, I have 2 sets I probably don't want to give away at the game. I'm going to go ahead and I wanted to get rid of this cupcake. So I'm going to say cupcake. I don't say the value, I just say cupcake. I'm going to draw a little hand here, so pretend I'm other players here. I'll draw 2 hands. And the first player here is going to look at their hand and say, okay, do I want a cupcake? This player is probably not going to want a cupcake. But also notice that this player has the mocha, which is the highest card, and there's only one in the game. So this one's like an auto win or keep for 5 points at the end of the game. So this player is going to pass. This player is going to look at their hand. Oh my, I have a double card here. This is a cookie and a donut, so it could count for either. So I have 3 cookies here currently. That's a pretty good. And I have 2 ice creams, a frozen and a chocolate. Huh. I don't actually want this card either. Now, if one of these players did want this card, they would just say, pick one of the cards. So let's say I wanted to get rid of this pie. I would say 3. I wouldn't tell you it's a pie. I would just say 3. Then this player would look to see if they want to match it. They could do a 3 cookie if they wanted, or pass. Once everyone has either matched or passed it, then we're going to swap. If this was the only player who put anything down, they would get this card, I would get this card. I could take a look at it and notice, wow, it's a pie. That was a great deal. I didn't even expect that. Or it could have been anything else because I don't know what the type is. I just know the amount. Now, what happens if no one bids? If everyone passes, discard the dessert face up and draw a new one. So if no one wanted my dessert, I would just discard it face up like this and draw a new one, and I get this card. But that's not what happened. So everyone's going to continue doing this in turn order. Everyone, once one player's offered it, the next player's going to offer one, and then so on and so forth until someone gets 6 of a kind. When they get 6 of a kind, they're going to call out Sweet 6, and then they have ended the game. They're going to get this card to show they've done that, and now we're going to figure out the winner. And you're going to look at this scoring card here to help figure it out. So I know that this right here, I have 3 sets. The first thing I'm going to add up in these sets is going to be this number down the bottom. So here's 5, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13 points. So I have 13 points right there. Next, I'm going to add up my points for my sets. So I have 3 of a kind, so that's going to be 7 points. So that gives me 20, 13 plus 7. Then I'm going to look at these 2, that gives me 4, so I get 24 points. And then I have another set of 2 that gives me 28 points. Now the person with the highest score at the end of the game is going to win. However, the player, if there's a tie, the player with the most dessert types wins. So I have 3 dessert types. If you're still tied, the player with the most coins wins. And I have 13 coins. And that is Sweet Deal. All right, so there's one more thing that you can do in this game on your turn. And it's once per game, unless you're playing a 2-player game. You can do it as many times as you want. And that is a bake sale. Once you do a bake sale, you'll flip it over to the sideshow that you've done it. And you don't have another bake sale you can do during the game. However, every player has one. So this one's pretty simple. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to draw a card, then you're going to discard a card. The next player is going to pick whether they're going to pick up that card or pass. If they pick up the card, they need to discard a card. Either way, whether they pass or discard a card, it will go to the next player. That player will either pick up the discarded card or pass, and it'll keep on going until it goes around. And then once that's done, you're going to flip this over and show that you have completed your bake sale. And that's the one bake sale that you got in the game. Now, just as a general note, this can go on for a while because this will continue on until everyone passes, just to let you know. So when it gets back to the original player that played it, they can still pick up that discarded card and place a card down or pass. All right, so there's a couple other notes. You can do a variant of this game. You can do closing early. Basically, it's a alternate way of ending the game. At the start of your turn, you can vote to see if you close early. If all the players agree, then you can end the game immediately. If not, you take your turn normally. So that's a variant you can use instead of waiting till you get the set of 6. There's important reminders in here. You always have 7 cards. You can never have more than 7 cards in the game. Yeah, it's always... cards are always 1 for 1. You have to accept or pick up the highest bid on your turn. You have to. You don't have a choice. If someone bids highest, you swap. When you're offering a card, you only say the name of the dessert. You can't say anything more. And when you're bidding, you only say the coin value. You cannot say what it is to help sweeten the pot or anything like that. You have to only say the coin value. Passed on a dessert in a bake sale, if the dessert changes, you can take it on your next turn, unless everyone has passed, just to let you know. Grab and go interrupts a player to swap for a bake sale card. They can now take the grab and go. So the grab and go is a special card. Now there's 4 main special cards in this game. You're going to have dual cards. These cards are special because they count as both dessert types. But they have a 0 point on them. So this one is a strudel cupcake. So it's both a strudel and a cupcake. We also have some wild cards. The wild cards here, like sprinkles, count as any one dessert. But for scoring, you have to pick which one dessert is going to be. You also have interrupts, like the grab and go that we just talked about. So let's find an interrupt here. So here's grab and go. So if you play this grab and go card, play it any time to swap with any available dessert. So it'll get swapped with the dessert. And then the mocha card, which we've seen a couple times, so the mochi card, which is the only one in the entire game, and this is worth 5 points, which is a good bit of points. And you may or may not want to pick that up in the game. So that is how you play Sweet Deals.